Another mind math session. So, last video we left off on the double alphabetical values of an integer, that being how we calculated CA using the equation that we have, and we were correct on the equation and that it equaled 3166. So what we're going to calculate today is the interval to the next sequential integer. So how we're going to do that, we're going to come up with the new equation. Now we got to get the fundamental value for three digits, three integer values. We're going to name this world AAA because that's going to be our fundamental value always. It's always going to be A. The reasoning behind that is because A to Z increases by 1 in theory if it's a singular digit, but as we saw, A to Z increases by 31 for the second integer, which would be that one. And then for the third integer, we have to come up with the interval in which it's going to increase. So we're going to go ahead and make the seed for this world and generate it, AAA. I'm going to let it load. Alright, here it is. You can look around if you want. It's mountainous. Pretty nice. Alright, we're going to go ahead and exit and save. We're just gathering data, so can't really spend much time just looking around. So AAA gave us a value of 96,321. Alrighty, so now we're going to create a world changing the first integer just so we could check how valid our equation is with 3 digits. So we're going to create a new world. We're going to create AAB because we only want to change one variable at a time. Always got to keep the other two constants. So that's going to be the world name. We're going to put the seed AAB. Now, according to our equation, if the first interval is changed, if the first integer is changed, we will then use the first equation to find out the next value, because it's just going to add 1 in this case, because our equation was n1 plus 1 equals n2. So using that theory, it should give us 96,322. Alrighty, here we are. Exit and save. So in theory, you should give us 96,322. So we're going to go ahead and play this game. AAB, 96,322. It's correct. So we know that a law that we just proved, if you just change that one variable in the first placement there, it would just use that fundamental law plus 1. Since it's the next thing, it's excuse me, it's the next integer in the sequence. So now we're going to change the middle integer. So we're going to create a world called ABA. So ABA, gotta keep two constants, now that we're dealing with 3 variables. Gonna go to the seed, ABA. Following the law of the second integer that we created, it should be plus 31 from our original fundamental value of AA. So this is the world. Exit and save. Play game. Alright. So our law that we created with the second equation, it should be plus 31 to the original fundamental value of that digit. So AA was 96,321. So if we add 31 to that, that means that ABA should equal 96,352. 96,352. That's what we got. So everything checks out for our second law of the equation that we developed. So now we're going to create the third law or increment that you're gonna have to add on from numbers so you can get the next sequential number in the seed. So now that we did AAB and ABA, now we have to make BAA so we can get our next interval. Here we go. BAA. BAA. Alright, that's done. We're going to put that into the seed. BAA. Go ahead and create the world. Alrighty, here we are. We're going to go ahead, exit and save. Now we're going to see what it equals. So we're going to go ahead and look at the seed number. Okay, so BAA equals 97,282. So in order to calculate that, the difference from the fundamental value of AAA, you have to subtract AAA from BAA. So 96,321. Okay. And that will give us, maybe show a representative of this representation. Okay, BAA minus AAA, oops, will equal our interval. Our interval, okay? So we just plug in our values that we got for BAA, and we got 97,282, and so we're gonna subtract that. We're gonna subtract AAA from that. So minus 96,321. And we obtain excuse me. We obtain this amount right here, which is 961. You can pause the video and make your own calculation on these two on this subtraction. Of course, so it's 961. That's what we get. So 961 is our interval. So now that we know that, in theory, if we were trying to get CAA, we would add 961 to BAA, because our interval would then create this equation. Now that we're dealing with three numbers, we're going to have N1, 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 three variables. And then you're going to have to add (961) it will equal n2. I don't have enough room. Give me a moment. You're always going to add the interval to the fundamental value of how many variables you're going to be using. So that would equal n2, n1, n1. That would be our new equation, our third equation, and our third law, basically, mathematical law for the third variable getting changed to the next sequential one. So if I wanted to come up with a theory on what CAA would be, we just have to add 961 to that amount of BAA. So once you add that amount, it adds up to 98,243. So let's go ahead and create a new world called CAA. There it is. New seed, CAA. Let's see if we're correct. Create new world. Alrighty, this is what it gave me. Pretty nice. We're gonna go back. We're gonna get the amounts. Remember, we estimated that CAA, the seed number, was going to give us 98,243, and we just generated the seed CAA, 98,243. All right, our calculation was correct for the interval. That's the remember that these three equations are to be utilized just for sequential. The next sequential variable that's going to come next. You know, the next variable that's going to come next. So now that we've proven that, we're going to have to obtain the fundamental values for all the A placements up to 32 spaces for a 32-bit system, you know. So once you get those sequential values, you'd be able to calculate numerous amounts of combinations of words or any sequence of letters that you put in. So for this instance, these are for all these sequences right here. Well, these are all seeds for all the combinations of multiples of A up to 32 A's. And these seeds are what you would utilize to then get your sequential value. And that's about as far as I'm going to get into it right now. This video is already long as it is, but thank you guys for your time and for tuning in, and until next time, uncovering mathematical proofs and equations from Minecraft seeds, alphabetical to numerical values. Pretty crazy, pretty interesting. Hope you guys take care.